Good afternoon. It is your man, Gregory, the talented Mr. Drayton. I am at my favorite Monday place with my favorite homie. Welcome to Middays with Greg and Malcolm. I said that correctly today, didn't I? And
Yes.
I am here with one of my favorite human beings. I tell you, I often refer to him as my support human. My co-host, my partner in crime. We do things here at this network that should not be televised. I'm just kidding. They all should be televised. Monday nights. I'm sorry. Shit. Wednesdays days old. Malcolm the Philosopher King. Oh, how you doing, bud?
Doing pretty good. It's a full fall in effect. I finally got adjusted. Yeah,
Look at you. You look like it's like
I got to go pull out the sweaters and the sweatpants
Mhm.
so I could fully enjoy it. But yeah,
That part. I like it. You gotta enjoy the sweaters and things. And happy
yeah.
fall. I know we've been in fall for a few months, I guess.
For
Month.
a month. Yeah, but I
Yeah.
guess the weather just kicked in maybe last week. So
Okay. So yeah, we are going to talk about some things today. Of course, I'm going to cover news that we probably cannot use. We know what's going on in the news, so I'm going to need to second guess yourself there. But I'm going to also talk about a great movie I had an opportunity to see this weekend. Um, Pharrell Williams, Piece by Piece. I'll be talking about that, and um, it's a Lego movie, but it has really adult themes and it's really good. I'm a Pharrell fan. It has things I did not know about Pharrell. But and Malcolm, what do you have for us today?
I'm going to talk about like feedback, positive versus negative feedback. We kind of talked about this with one of the creators who was talking about money. And so
Mhm.
I have a video of hers as well. So if you have any money advice, you know, in your pocket, you might want to pull it out and bless our audience with some money advice. But yeah.
What would you what in all your money that you have, all your millions, what advice would you like?
Well, I mean, I think it's just kind of like sort of the average things that someone could do to, you know,
Increase
manage their money
that
better. Yeah, yeah, like basic tips that she has a few, and basically, she had a thing like some things that she no longer does, as once she learned how to manage money.
So I tell our audience we probably have a more expendable income than most people.
Yeah,
Pay yourself 10%. Whenever if you work a 9 to 5, you get paid. And if you work in a like in a gig situation, save 20% of what you make. So like let's say if you're a hairdresser or barber or something like that, 20% of your gross is good. And if you work a 9 to 5, which and it's less because you may have a 401k, that's all. And then I'll talk about it one day. When the election's over, I'll get back to it.
yeah, we'll get to it. Yeah, I
Oh, I'm saying,
might
but
have some more ideas too.
yeah. No, and then so saving is important. But then you don't have you can basically go to your bank and get your own 401k. We'll talk about that later. All right. So in the state of the race, guess what, y'all? 14 days, 15 days till November 5th, election
Yeah,
season. It is election season. And I am so proud of us here in Georgia, Malcolm. We are fastly approaching 2 million people in a
yeah,
week. Yeah.
yeah. No, it's good too, and I think one of the positives for so many people early voting is the get out the vote efforts will be easier. Because as the election day approaches, they were talking about how both campaigns are upping their ad game, like just flooding. Like if you thought it was bad before, imagine pretty much like in the battleground states, like every commercial is a political ad for the next 2 weeks. But the reason that is that there's a certain portion of the population which does not watch news, which is not interested in politics, that probably hasn't really thought about either of the candidates, not even sure if they're going to vote or not. And those are the people they're trying to target. So they're doing it on ads, but the biggest one is actually going door to door. And one of the things that early voting can do is to remove people off the list so that the reach of those volunteers can go further, can reach more undecided, unregistered voter. Well, I guess they wouldn't be unregistered. They have to be registered at this point, but you know what I mean. Uh, Uninvolved voters, people who we don't expect to vote. You know, maybe a person showing up at their door might get them to. Um, and I don't know if you heard, there's some weird shit that Elon Musk is doing in
It's so illegal.
it's so illegal, but you know, he really is above the law on a certain I feel like he is. Like people
The written law says he only get $10,000 per fine, so he'll take it.
You're right, okay, I didn't know that. Okay. So if you don't know, Elon Musk is basically paying people to register to vote, although he's doing it in a way that technically he's not. He's getting people to sign a petition, which where they, I guess, promise to vote for a conservative, and I guess you have to be unregistered to sign the petition. So it's kind of like saying wink, wink. And oh yeah, by the way, if you sign the petition, he's giving at random $1 million to one person on the petition per day.
Man,
Um,
it's sad when you think you can't win, so you just have to do other stuff.
yeah. I mean, there's that illegality, but there's also the fact that it's pretty clear that he is coordinating with the Trump campaign, which is illegal for a super PAC to do. Like you can, the whole idea of dark money is that, you know, it's outside groups unaffiliated with the main campaign. You know, the legal rationale is that as private citizens, we can spend money however we want. But as campaigns, there are limits on donations and how.
Right, right.
And so like those two entities are supposed to be separate. There appears to be zero fucking separation. The fact that they were on stage together. There's the pictures of him jumping up and down. He's the head of,
Was the disclosure of him giving 75 million as
yeah.
funds. Now, the interesting part about that is, yet and still, the Harris campaign is raising money reams around the Trump
Yeah.
campaign.
And it should be noted that super PACs can't spend money in the same way that official campaigns can. So let's just say that the money that goes to Harris goes further than the super PAC money that you know Trump has. And yeah, and like you said, even with that, they're behind. Even though they're behind, they're even further behind because the money that they spend, they actually have to spend more money. So like official campaigns get different rates for their ad. You know?
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, because it's public. So some, you know, there's a certain like matching funds in some states. There's like, you know, public access. You know, so like the television companies cannot charge market rates. They charge a different rate for campaigns than they do for super PACs. So yeah, like
Makes sense.
so the super PAC that you know that Trump has is paying like 2 to 3 times as much per ad because they're not part of the official campaign.
So Malcolm, we didn't have time to coordinate this morning.
Mm.
But guess what? Speaking of ads,
Mm.
there was a bombshell dropped this morning. You seen that stupid ad that Kamala is, Kamala. I'm sorry, is I know.
I get it wrong all the time. So right.
Yeah, thank you. That she's paying for transgender. Hey, what's going on?
Oh yeah.
So come to find out that it was actually the Trump administration. It's going to be a big story because Morning Joe found out this morning when Clinton Folks was on the air, and he was like, "I'm going to make an ad right now. I'll be back."
Yeah. It is so ridiculous. Yeah.
So ridiculous. And now it's really crazy. They estimate that ad has been ran 30,000 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like
So,
the bald gentleman with the lipstick at the end. That's my favorite.
so I mean, this is what's so crazy about it is, of course, that what a person does um, with their personal health care shouldn't be anyone else's business.
Well, it's not your personal liquor when you're in prison.
Well, yeah, but it's also in the military as well. So yeah, there are government institutions. It should be noted
Yeah.
that are required to provide people health care, and sometimes it's health care that you may not personally agree with, but that their doctors and their treatment
Ab-
suggest. Right.
Absolutely, friend. Absolutely.
So, like, yeah, whether you're in prison or in the military or part of some other government agency, and you have health care through them, and you happen to be transgender, you might be paying for their confirmation surgeries or hormones or maybe even detransitioning because sometimes people may change their mind, whatever it is. But it has to do with what they and their doctor decide. And it just kind of comes down to
You're so
uh,
politically correct.
yeah, and I'm just saying. But of course, people aren't. People are fucking stupid, and of course, these ads assume that you're stupid, and they're not necessarily wrong. Like, there's a lot of stupid people who are like,
Speaking of being stupid,
mm,
um, the Harris campaign this weekend was everywhere, all at once.
yeah,
Doing campaign starts. Early voting has started in Detroit, Michigan. So she started off her Saturday in Detroit with popular singer Lizzo. They did a rally in Detroit, and
okay,
Lizzo talked shit about Trump dissing Detroit in Detroit. That was funny.
that was
And
pretty.
yeah, and later that evening, I don't know where she finds the time, but she was down the street at my house. For me, Lakewood Amphitheater here in Atlanta, Georgia, where she entertained her and Ursher entertained a rousing group of over 10,000 people
Yeah,
at that rally. And yet, and still Sunday, she's she was her birthday. Happy birthday, Madam Vice President.
yeah.
But
Okay,
she managed to dazzle churchgoers at New Birth Baptist Church. Pastor Jamal Bryant officiating, and that it was her birthday. She did that. The juxtaposition was her candidate, her opponent. Oh, I'm
mm,
sorry. Governor Walz was also on the campaign trail in North Carolina. There were several surrogates out in Wisconsin. President Obama Friday was out in Vegas and Nevada. The Clintons were out, so it's all hands on deck, basically.
yeah.
So, and they are everywhere. Today, we'll find the vice president in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania with Congresswoman Liz Cheney
Okay.
for his efforts in the election. I hate talking about him. He is so asinine.
Yeah.
This weekend in Pennsylvania, what was billed as his closing argument, he was started talking about Arnold Palmer's junk and how endowed Arnold Palmer was.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's weird.
eats French fry. Um, yeah, he went on a 12-minute diatribe about um Arnold Palmer's junk.
Yeah.
Arnold Palmer, famous golfer who died in 2016, flew into his airport there in PA and began to dazzle the audience with a story about his junk.
The funny thing is, I actually did hear about that some years ago. It's just it's a weird story.
But dude, we
Why
have
are you doing that as president? Yeah, or as a presidential candidate?
mm,
Yeah, that's just like an odd fact. I guess it is a fact, but anyway.
well, I mean, he was like, yeah, He got in the shower with the other golf pros. Everybody was like, wow. You know what I mean?
It's true. I mean, at least the rumor is true. I don't know how true.
Well, Trump
Yeah.
has confirmed it. He is,
Yeah.
the famous golfer is also famous for giving us the lemonade sweet tea mix situation.
Right. I like an Alden Palmer. It's pretty good.
You do?
I might actually be drinking one right now.
It's tasty.
It is tasty.
Now, I just want you to have that visual in your head, just like I do,
Yeah.
of Arnold Palmer's big white junk.
Yeah.
Arnold Palmer's big white junk gets you so.
God.
So I don't know what to do with that, but I'm gonna put that right there. We are about 15 days away from the polls closing, and of course the race is still tight. But according to new polls today, extensive polls actually, Vice President Harris holds a small lead in. Let me see, can I remember off the top of my head? Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, all the blue wall states. So basically, if the election was held today, she would hold on. Good afternoon, Johnny. How are you, sir? It's locker room talk. Sounds familiar? Oh, I could win a lifetime without knowing about his junk. A whole entire lifetime. Amen.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Right.
But I mean, I guess it kind of works for maybe his constituency, but
maybe. So let's not forget to go out and vote. And so, speaking of voting, congratulations to the state of Georgia and also North Carolina. First day of early voting in North Carolina began Friday, and they came in at a whopping 350,000 votes. Excuse me, for one day.
Yeah.
And the state of Georgia here continues to break records. We're almost at 2 million, 1.5. I think it's like 1.25. It's like almost at 2 million as of today. So keep on voting. Your early voting is taking place in most states. Wisconsin is early voting. Pennsylvania has mail-in. So make sure you get your ballot in. All right. If you have a question about voting, please go to www.vote.gov and make your voice heard. I am so sleepy. Yeah. This burger gonna be so good. I'm
trying to eat better too. I've been hitting fast food a little much.
I know. I haven't had a Wendy's burger in so long. Shout out to my sister for the burger. Thank you, sir. Yeah. What you got going on, bro?
All right, so I'll start with the financial one. I don't know if you want to think about it more, but I'm going to play the video. It's the lady who was talking about the psychology of money before. Yeah. And just some things.
I'm going to think about this.
All right.
I no longer do with my money as somebody who grew up poor, but is poor no more. Number one, and this one might be a little bit controversial, but I don't lend money to family or friends. I saw Oprah said a long time ago that she doesn't lend anything that she can't afford to give away. And if that is good enough for Oprah, it's good enough for me. And the truth is, I can't really afford to give away much. So I do not lend money to family or friends. If the bank won't lend you money, baby, I'm not going to lend it to you either. So in order to keep the sanity and to keep my relationships, I just have a blanket, I don't do that policy. Now, there are a short list of people, my mama, my best friend, my partner, who if they needed something, I would not hesitate in a heartbeat to cash out and take care of what they needed. But it would not be in the form of a loan. It would be in the form of, here, you can have this, get what you need taken care of, and don't ask me again. So I don't lend money to family or friends. Next, I don't try to keep up with the Joneses. You can either be rich or you can look rich. Most people cannot afford to be both. And I would much rather be rich than look rich. So the car that I drive is 4 years old. I bought it used. A lot of people gave me criticism about buying a used car because I could afford a new car, but it just felt like a silly purchase. And my car is about to be paid off. And once that thing is paid off, baby, I'm going to drive it till the wheels fall off. And I drove my old car until the wheels fell off. New phone, only because I create content, and it took me a long time to upgrade my phone. So I do not keep up with the Joneses because the Joneses are broke. I don't combine money with my partner. And this is simply just because I don't want to. We have different spending habits. We have different money management habits. I don't want money to be something that we argue about in our relationship. And it's not something we argue about. We have our system of how we manage money and what bills we split and how we split them. And it works really well for us. And we don't mix our money. And we probably never will. And that's okay. And lastly, I don't store my money in a checking account. I have a checking account and I have 2 savings accounts. One where I keep my emergency savings and one where I keep my short-term savings. I also have my direct deposit from work deposited into my short-term savings account. That money sits in that account until I'm ready to pay my credit card bill because I put all of my daily spending on my credit card. When I'm ready to pay that credit card bill, I will transfer the money from my high yield savings into my checking account and make the payment from there. That way I am maximizing the interest that I am earning on that money throughout the month, and I'm leveraging my credit card to pay my bills. This way has allowed me to earn a significant amount with more interest on my money on a regular basis.
So that was kind of different. I was going to ask you about that. The fact that she does not store money in her checking account. I'd never heard of that. So she was just saying that she pays all her daily bills with her credit card, and then when she's ready to pay off her credit card, she transfers that lump sum into her checking account and then pays her credit card bill from the checking account. But basically, her checking account stays fairly empty, if she has one.
That works. A way around that. I mean, it's all that sounds complicated when you just get a high yield checking account. And I mean,
yeah, I think she's kind of mid-maxing, where you're trying to get every little
right. And said it, she grew up poor, so she has her mental acuity around much. She don't trust herself with it, so she has to do things. So, well, yeah, that's what it sounds like. But you have to assess how you feel about money, and that's the first thing I ask my client: like, how'd you grow up? I mean, did you grow up in a 2-family household? If not, who raised you? My mom. They say most times it's my mom. Okay, well, was she a professional? No, she cleaned. Da, 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 da. Okay, did you have a home? Did you? No, we lived in an apartment. I said, okay, so you do better than your mother did, apparently, right? Right. So, so have you gone through your I wanted phase? And your wanted phase is, have you bought everything that you wanted when you were a kid? Like, I mean,
right.
Real things. Like, we as a race go through it. Like sneakers, we love sneakers.
Yeah.
Line for them. We do.
Mine was a computer. I remember when I graduated from college, I said, I'm going to buy me a top of the line computer. Like, I don't want this cheap ass. We had like a, what was it, like a Tandy from Radio Shack? I said, this is not a real fucking computer.
Tandy from Radio Shack.
It was the worst. It was like, he ran something other than Windows, just like it wasn't a real computer. But no, I get it. And so I think money, what you touched on, 2 different things about money that I just realized. It's emotional, but it's also a part of our identity, right? I can remember thinking about my grandmother, and a lot of times my mom said this was just a residue of the fact that she was born and raised in the midst of the Great Depression, right? And lived at a point where she didn't trust financial institutions, because it was literally like one of those things. She was becoming of age when banks were not trusted to keep your money, and so I think for most of her life, it was difficult for her to trust financial institutions. But she was also very frugal, and she was frugal to the point where it was ridiculous. She was a teacher, and she had like 2 or 3 businesses. She had a dry cleaner, a hairdressing business, and a restaurant out of her home. I mean, she had like 3 different businesses. And she didn't let nobody know how much money she had. She just, when she died, it was like, wow, like she had so much and no one knew. It was just because
Carla was a baller.
yeah, she was, but it was also fear, right? She was afraid of what would happen if she didn't have it.
Do
And I
you
think
find yourself scared of your money, Malcolm?
a little. Yeah, I think there's I do like to have a certain amount or I do feel anxious.
You
I
have
thought
the
about that. I thought about that with the checking account. I don't know how I could have no money in my checking account and have to wait for the transfer from my savings to checking because I just that amount of time would like make me feel like a little anxious. Like
isn't the transfer instantaneous?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it is.
Okay.
No waiting. No waiting.
I guess that's the point. Yeah.
Yeah, but so you have the best story of the Keep the Change program.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
So
Dazzle.
yeah. So when I went to college, I got a checking account with Bank of America, and I think after I got home and graduated, I switched banks. It was I think it was something about like the local branch of the Bank of America shut down, but they still had like my credit card and some other things that I was paying bills with. So it was a bank account that I just didn't access very often. I did my daily um, purchasing from another bank. But eventually I needed to get the money out. And when I went there, there's a thing they have that's called the save the or keep the change program, where every transaction that you do in that account, you round up to the next dollar and they put it into a savings account. And that savings account over 20 years built up about $20,000 because it was about $1,000 a year just from random transactions. So I think it was a lot more when I was using that account on a daily basis. But either way, I just never touched the savings account. Um, I don't know if I even remember having it. Yeah.
How long did you spend the money in there?
Oh no, I still have it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's just it was crazy to think that I definitely have some weird ideas about money. And I think I'm wrapping my head around it. Is that of course it's not just
Give
dollars.
me one of them. Give me one weird idea about it.
Like I said, sort of like security, like having money as a security blanket. Like I don't like to have empty accounts. Like it's just naturally anxiety filled. And I'm kind of like her. I don't like to I get sort of indignant at spending large amounts of money on things like, say, for instance, I probably should get better headphones, right? Like, I should probably get top of the line because I listen to a lot of audio content. I should probably get some nice.
Still haven't bought better earphones yet?
No, I'm not paying more than $100 for headphones. Just not. I will not. And I'm dying on that hill. I was just like, these are good enough. Fuck that. I'm not.
I have a pair of the Apple Studio over the ear, and it sounds like Jesus is massaging my eardrum. I'm just saying, get you some. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it probably would. I know.
Skip on your ears and your eyes. Come on, dude.
No, it would definitely improve my daily experience, and it's also thinking about that chair. Like, I want to get the chair that lifts and separates, but I'm just like, oh fuck it, I'll get a pillow. Put a pillow on it.
Swag, are you out there?
I don't like spending money. I don't. I just don't.
I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
My physical therapist got one for her and her husband.
Yeah.
It is that good. When I tell you I did not want to leave Swag's house.
Yeah.
I had to come get me one. It's like, and I spend incredible amounts of time in my office.
Yeah.
I want to sleep here now.
So I think that's just like something I'm gonna have to work on is like buying the things for me and not thinking so much about the cost.
Well, bro, how about I suggest you put it on the credit card and just pay it off monthly, and you won't feel it.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
And then, like when you get it, you're gonna be like, "What in the gay hell?" What?
I was thinking about that. I would buy. I think I would get that chair sooner rather than later.
Dude, like you are like 6'11". Good chair. Fitz Hughes says, "I agree with keeping money separate or having mine, yours, and ours accounts, where ours is used to pay monthly living expenses." Amen.
Yeah,
you know, Fitz, I really take that to heart because you know what you're talking about. I like her system some. I just hope her personal decisions don't bite her in the ass. Oh wow. Okay.
I mean, if it does, you learn from it. I mean,
yeah, not gonna save your money. Earphones. How much was it again? $700.
Yeah,
but you cannot pay for a good back and a separated ass, people.
That's the thing. I think you can possibly buy some used refurbished headphones. I might consider that. But I don't know. I also am like aware of the fact that I break my headphones a lot. So
see now, we didn't talk about that part. No, don't.
Right.
Because the Apple ones were $700.
Yeah, I can't see myself breaking those. Yeah. All right, I got another one. Kind of talking about negative versus positive feedback. Because the last video this woman had on, she was talking about how she would listen to some of these money podcasts and she couldn't understand how people would talk to them so viciously. And I think this guy kind of just says like he kind of likes it. Yeah, he likes being talked to.
I do too. Yeah. I told you I did. I talked to myself like that.
All right, here we go.
Can criticism be a form of positive encouragement? Well, it depends. Most people probably expect encouragement to sound like, "You did a great job. I believe in you. You can do it." But some people simply aren't wired for that. For me, working in a tactical environment for years conditioned me for negative reinforcement. Negative reinforcement encourages positive behavior by removing a negative stimulus. You've probably experienced this. If you've ever gotten into a car and ignored that annoying chime sound until you put on your seatbelt, that chime is there to make you uncomfortable until you change your behavior. And the same happens in communication. Instead of hearing someone say, "Good job, you'll get it next time," someone may instead say, "That's all you got?" This is what happens when you don't put in the work. The idea behind this form of encouragement is that it's meant to push you, to remove comfort and encourage positive behavior change. And for me personally, I love that. I don't love positive reinforcement because it removes the pressure to perform and improve. And I don't want my effort celebrated, only my accomplishments, because I don't want to be lulled into a sense of mediocrity. Here's the problem. Most everyone else isn't wired for that. So most people end up feeling discouraged because negative reinforcement feels like an attack or punishment. So if you're wired for negative reinforcement like I am, you're going to have to dig deep to be a positive encourager. And if you do use negative reinforcement, you can only use it on people who genuinely trust you. Because without trust, your words are going to be felt like insults. And in your attempt to help, you'll likely only cause harm.
Yeah. I was thinking about this with
one question before.
Oh, go ahead.
Gay or married to a white woman? Which one is
it? I don't know. It could be either one. I think he's a pastor. He's a former police officer, ex-military. I think he was a hostage negotiator at some point. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know his marital status, but I think he's straight. I don't know. But anyway,
research on your people you follow.
He's kind of interesting. Yeah, he has a decent book that I read. It's called Never Split the Difference, I think is the name of it. And he was talking about some of his going through hostage negotiations. I mean, it was very interesting because it's not like the movies or anything. It's kind of boring. I gotta be honest. Like,
really?
Yeah, like the way that he put it down is it's almost like trying to become someone's friend and kind of like getting on their side and learning information from them without them realizing that they're divulging the information. It's kind of like that. Anyway, it's a good book though. But something that he mentioned about like negative reinforcement was that it requires this kind of relationship with someone where you actually trust their intentions. And I've noticed that it can work when the person I actually trust their feedback. You know, like I can deal with negative feedback when it's from someone who I actually trust their intentions. Like they're not trying to one up or cut me down. Like they really are genuinely trying to improve. And there's still like limits to it, right? Say for instance, like he used the example of the seatbelt ding ding sound. Like if that ding ding became, you know, I'd just that shit off, right? Like I would cut that shit off or forget about it, you know. But,
well, that's how that's how it works.
Yeah, but I can remember like I was you know, on sports teams. I was on the swim team.
Balls.
Well, none of them with balls because I can't see, but you know, I did play. I was on the track team. I was on the wrestling team. I was on the swim team. And in all of those situations, the coach draws that line between negative reinforcement and also positive encouragement. Because there's no way you can criticize someone's, you know, form or their, you know, their style or whatever without being negative. It's like that's wrong. That's not it. You know, like you can't sugarcoat that shit. If you're doing it wrong, you're doing it wrong. And so like, yeah, but I understood like his goal wasn't to criticize, it was to improve my form so that the team could win, you know, and I understood that. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I was also I was reading this other book by a military dude named David Goggins. I don't know him personally. I think he's pretty famous for because he was like a Navy SEAL. He's like a motivational speaker now. His book was fucking insane. It's called Can't Hurt Me. And he had the opposite ideas that I don't know, kind of challenged me because it obviously worked for him, right? There's a lot of negative reinforcement to get himself to do the things he wanted to do. Like he was talking about getting through Hell Week, which is, you know, the admissions process for Navy SEALs. And I think he had to do it like 3 times because he had a medical emergency 2 of those times, right? And they allowed him to do it again. I think he like broke his leg or some shit in the middle of it. Yeah, and he, you know, like people when they read his experience and when he talks about it are just like, you are crazy.
Right. Dear white people, sit down.
Well, he happens to be black, but
dear black man, sit down.
But no, yeah, and then some of his experience, I think he talked about he was physically abused as a kid, and you know, at some point, like actually, you know, standing up to his father, who was an, you know, abusive prick, alcoholic. So like he definitely has some issues that he's working through. And but the way that he worked through it was a lot of negative reinforcement, and you know, it's a lot of stuff that he learned while with the SEALs. Like it was like his motivators were literally antagonists, you know.
Yeah.
They were like, shit, you ain't nothing. You gonna fuck out, you know. You're gonna fucking.
I hate to see that on Facebook and Instagram. My motivators. Oh God, like shut up.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It works for some people, and I was like, this is never gonna work for me.
Thank you so much.
But it was an interesting book. It's a good read if you are negative and reinforced person. It's called Can't Hurt Me. It's a pretty good.
Don't think you're. I think you would have a hard time doing that.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
You are, and now me on the other hand. I think that's how I operate.
Yeah.
And you know, and the thing, not on purpose, like not on purpose, but like, you know, I'm a dad, I'm a granddad, you know, I'm a HR professional, you know, so I often have to deliver bad news. So, and you know, you try to use like the sandwich method. I mean, like good news, bad news. This is what it is. So yeah, I try.
Yeah. Yeah,
But I
man.
don't always succeed. I don't. So let's see what we have here.
Okay.
Oh, what do we have here? Think night. Let's see. Malcolm, save your money. Amen. 700. Stop being reckless, Malcolm. Yikes. Judgy much, are we?
What did I do?
There are I'll show you people and praise me people when it comes to motivation. Teachers, leaders, coaches, and those that just like to manipulate learn which method works.
Yeah.
Man, you be dropping that wisdom. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Just wisdom. Yeah, it's just one of those things. I think you have to find out what method. Um, you know, I come from the school of it is what it is.
hmm
You know, and so oh, you're harsh and you're this. No, you know,
Yeah. I think it is about determining what works. And I think that there I think sometimes, and this is something I put in my podcast for this week, is I think some people get a little holier than thou when they talk about what works for them. And they think like, well, if it works for me, then this is what should work for everyone else. And if it doesn't work for you, then there's something wrong with you.
right?
Yeah, that's not the way that works.
No,
No, we're just different.
go ahead,
It's,
go
it's
wrong.
okay to be different, and
It's okay
it
to
takes
do
all
it
types.
differently. It's okay to do it differently.
Yeah, I would say like
It's and then you please, gentlemen, be advised that you must, or ladies and gentlemen, you must know your audience as well.
yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't want to be like date. You go to your boss and be like, then you be like him. Them niggas over at M3 said, in the unemployment line, no parts of it. You got
Yeah.
one. You got one more.
Yes. This one I'm going to play. We've talked about this a lot. Dealing with friends who do not listen to your advice or
I'm like you. Never take my fucking advice. You never in 20 plus years have you taken my advice. No. No, it's not for debate. No. And then, world, listen to me. World, listen to me. And then when he comes back and it's all fucked up, he's like, oh shit. He never says I was right. He always says, oh shit. Yeah. He's laughing because it's true. Right, but never.
You might be right about that because I am the type who kind of needs to fuck around and find out. Like I really do.
Is that what it is? Oh, okay.
It is.
In my
I
field.
kind of have to kind of learn it on my own. But that's exactly what this is going to be about. I thought this was funny, but it is just like I guess some people just have to fuck around and find out, and I'm one of those people. I'm going to play this.
Never. Did I say never? I mean
never. All right, here we go.
You meet this guy online. Y'all talk for about 3-4 weeks on the regular, 2, 3, 4 times a day sometimes. After a couple weeks, he decides he's going to invite you to dinner. You agree. Okay, cool. A couple days before the date, he tells you he ain't got no car. You say, no problem, I'll come by and get you. When you get to his house to pick him up, he comes outside. He has on sweatpants, a t-shirt, and a pair of flip-flops. You look at him and say, I thought we was going to dinner. He then informs you at that time he has decided that it's better for y'all to do takeout and come back to his house because that way y'all can talk and get to know each other on a different level without interruptions. You say, okay. Now, the takeout menu of choice that he chooses is Taco Bell. Okay. When you get to the order board, he orders 2 taco boxes. You know the ones that got 10 tacos in them? Okay, he orders 2 and 2 large drinks. Okay. As you pull around to the window to pay, he patting his pants. And he goes, oh, I think I forgot my wallet. You say, okay, no problem. So you pay. Y'all get back to his house. He invites you in, takes you to the kitchen, and tells you to have a seat. He's going to wash his hands. He'll be back. You sit down at the table. You start getting things ready. You're sipping on your large drink. And in walks his mama, his daddy, and his grandma. They sit down at the table. They start eating the tacos. His grandmama look you dead in your face and say, hey, thanks for dinner. Okay. So when you leave there, you get in your car and you call me, your friend. You're telling me what happened. Okay. After you finish telling me the story, as your friend, I said, wow, that's a lot for a first date and even worse for a last date. That's what I said. I said, but then you out $25, $30, but that's a small price to pay to save you from all them red flags and toxic behavior. You then say, what you mean? I say, what you mean? What do I mean? I said, $25, $30 is a small price to pay that's going to save you from all them red flags he just threw on the field. You say to me, I like him. Wait, what? You say, I like him. I'm just going to chalk this up to he's having a bad week. Oh. So I say to you as your friend, I said, so everything that just happened, you good with it, right? You say, yeah, I like him. So I say as your friend, I said, friend, I love you. You say, yeah, I know. I said, I stand on business, right? You say, yeah, I know. I said, so let me say this to you. You will never be able to call me and complain to me about this guy. Now, let me be clear. You have the right to date whoever you want to date. That's your business. That's not my business. That's your business. But I'm telling you as your friend, and I'm going to touch your hand through the phone when I say this. You can never call me and complain about this guy. Because if you do, what I'm going to do is hold your hand through the phone and bring your remembrance back to this conversation. Now, you get mad at me and tell me how unsupportive I am as a friend because you really like the guy. Oh, okay. Sometimes I think people love drama more than they love their self. I really do.
Oh god.
Man, that's it. That's it. You
Yeah.
know, like, oh gosh, I ain't trying to tell nobody business, but like, you know, maybe you don't, and then that's so okay. Maybe you don't. Let's say,
I think
like,
some people value that feeling over their good sense because she knows all the red flags. She knows it's wrong, but she
I mean,
likes him.
a minute ago, she had to feed this nigga's family.
It's not even that. It's
Oh,
like the fact
stop.
that you lied about it. You said you were going on a date. Instead, you tricked this woman into helping you feed your family. That's what you did.
Because he must have went in the back and told him,
Yeah.
he bought dinner. Because when you would have asked who in the hell eating all these tacos, like,
yeah.
like, you got 20 tacos and 2 drinks. Now, it's the other question: someone ain't got no drink.
Yeah, I guess you split it, maybe. I don't know.
Fuck! Oh my god!
Yeah,
that is terrible.
but this is the thing. The fucked up thing is, I have been that friend. You're right that when I have been caught up in the emotions, because she starts the story by saying, they talk for a month, 2, 3, 4 times a day. So they clearly like each other. Like she likes him. And getting caught up in those feelings means that you are not being rational. And the funny thing is though, why did she call her friend? Like she knows her friend stands on business. She knows her friend is not going to be okay with this. And why are you surprised that she, is like, what the fuck?
Ooh, pick me. Ooh.
But I've done this. I've been that person. I do call.
Yes, you have.
Yeah.
But like you, secretly, she wants to hear the truth.
Right, she does. I think there's a part of her that knows the truth, and she knows that her friend loves her, and she knows that she's going to tell her the truth. Yeah.
Because it's like,
yeah,
I'm going to replace her name with Malcolm. Does that make sense? Now you've been through this before. What happened last time? No, but he different. See, he fucked around and hit your Abdul Abdungada, and now you're retarded. to the mentally challenged community. Now you're just slow. You don't know what to do. You're just in slow motion. And and you know what? Because I always like to take things and put it through our perspective. It's really that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Because now we may live in high trafficked gay areas, Atlanta, DC, New York, all those cities yet to be named. Or we go to high traffic gay places online, and So it makes gays seem populated, but it's really not. You know,
Yeah.
we're a small part of the population
Right.
on a whole. And then you get to black and gay, and other things start breaking down to subsets. It's ridiculously
Yeah.
small.
Yeah.
So, it's. I think we get caught up, and I'll say because we all have,
Mm.
like, get caught up in that all the time. It's. I like him because he's available and I can deal. I can, I guess I just make some hamburger, help him feed grandma now. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh my God, years ago,
Mm.
when I first got divorced, I won't say his name. Fucking, I met this man named David. David, I lived in Richmond. He was from Philadelphia. Just charismatic, cute, and just like, oh. And then 9 months later, I realized that him, his daughter, and his granddaughter were living in my house. I just woke up one morning on my way to the B of A. I was like, wait a minute, bitch, you got a whole family and you just got rid of one. Oh no. Oh, to the fuck no, no. I'm not going to get a divorce to be with another nigga that's got a whole, nah. And so when I got home from work, I was like, I think you need to find your own spot. Well, what do you mean? I mean,
Yeah.
so hopefully, the reason I tell the story is because hopefully you wake up in the middle of your fever dream, or you take somebody's advice.
Yeah.
Do you think you know better? Like, do you feel when you about to make a bad decision? Like, does like the bad feelies pop up or something?
I think there are parts of us that do that. And I think one of the things that popped into mind when talking about this is that when you talk about your self-help journey, your self-growth journey, it's not something that you do alone. There are people along the way that nudge you in the right direction, that help you
Absolutely.
see the truth about what you need to do. And I think I see a lot of times, people, content creators, they make it as all about them and about what they did to grow. It's like, yeah, I did this, I did that, but there were all these other people around you who were also giving you advice and helping you and picking you up off the floor when that shit went down. Because she still was like, she wasn't like, you can't ever complain to me about this friend, but you can call me at when you.
Yeah, I'm going to be available, and I want
Yeah.
to say this to you publicly. I love you, and I'm always available to you.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if yeah, like I know you're gonna do. So at one point, I start giving you the wrong advice because I know you'll do the opposite. That was great. That worked for a few years, y'all. I mean, because especially he's a smidgen bit younger. So I had been where he was stepping. I'm like, oh no, I've been there. Mother would be like, so
Yeah, I think
I have experiences.
the funny thing is about that is that sometimes you do just learn from your mistakes, whether or not, like, because it does, sometimes the voice of your friend in the back of your head, once you come to your senses, will come and be helpful, as long as you can go back to them and have that conversation or talk to them like it never happened. I think that, to me, is what I do. Like you said, I
That is
do.
important. That is important. Because as the friend giving the advice, you can't be holding the grudge.
Yeah.
You have to take them back into the fold and love them like they never left. Because they gonna need you at that point.
Yeah. That I can get down with. I was like,
Tell you something, that nigga made some bad decisions.
like, who hasn't though? I mean,
I'm like, what?
that's the point. That's
Right.
the point I'm making. Like,
It
everyone.
sounded like you watching a telenovela. You're like, what? You did what? So
I'm just lucky enough to have survived them. That's all I can say. Because not everyone does.
yeah, and likewise.
Yeah.
Likewise, I too was a young tenderoni one time, and you make mistakes, and you kind of. But that is one that I would love recall on Wednesday night. I think that needs a full panel review.
Yeah, for sure.
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
That was so good. That's so good.
so
We're in a few seconds. We're gonna wrap it up and go to Patreon.
Yes.
Yeah, so you know what I thought about? We maybe should chop this up and publish it as a podcast.
Well, good. I'm thinking about that. I actually do have an episode coming out tomorrow about the conflict guy.
Commercials.
Yeah. But yeah, I am trying to find other ways to promote things online, and this originally was our podcast recording time frame.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we went live for like 1 or 2 episodes, and we were just like, fuck it, make it another live. So, we were just recording.
You guys are coming out by the droves.
Yeah.
We have 70 people streaming on this particular.
Yeah.
App.
But no, I think it is a good this is where I start coming up with ideas for the audio podcast. So
the triggerization of Gregory.
But also it's also like a catalog, a journey of my own, like let's put it this way. I consume a lot of content either in books or social media, and talking to you about it helps me process it, like truly understand it. Yeah. So it's triggering only because I think it is relevant. It wouldn't be triggering if it was irrelevant information, And so sometimes I do it to be antagonistic, but what about the financial stuff? It's truly just like a question to me, like some of the things you've learned through your experience doing finances. So
yeah. Dude, and I tell you what, people always think, "Oh, my situation with stories the worst." It is not. It is not. I have heard. I've probably been through worse. So don't.
Yeah.
Well, Mark Estes, what you say? As I live and breathe. Wow. Thank you so much, Mark Estes. Mark, where have you been? I ain't seen you since Hatchet was a hammer. My goodness. It is so good to see you, friend. Now to relitigate anything you've heard today, probably join us on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where Markham the Philosopher King tantalizes and titillates you with smooth relationship topics.
Yeah, I got a couple interesting ones for Wednesday. I have one about the DTR. I'm trying to put that into my head. Define the relationship. DTR.
Oh,
that conversation, yeah.
Right, and then join me Saturday for Saturday sit down. Come on in and sit down. Right, and my new tagline: I watch the news, so you won't have to. Right, so again, we're coming up on exactly 2 weeks before this very important election. Take a friend to the polls. Lord have mercy.
I know, if it only looked that way. If it was a cookout, bro. With the thick boys are out there, but yeah, it's more like old folks.
Is that AI?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, isn't AI wonderful?
Who has the time? Who has the time? Join us on Patreon. That's patreon.com /Mail Media Mind. Please, we'll be there. Become a paid member. Have access to our exclusive Telegram page where you can get exclusive content. Hellos from us, topics, early access to any of our podcasts, adult entertainment after dark. Yeah. Please join us at patreon.com /Mail Media Mind. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. Malcolm, thank you.
Absolutely.
As always, you are the most gracious. And thank you for creating a safe space for us to have ideas and like myself. I don't know. I always you cannot have enough of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. I appreciate it too. Like I do bring these because it is like my personal stuff. I remember listening to my own podcast and thinking like, this shit's super personal. I
went back because I'm planning season 2. I went back. a few episodes of the Jeep spot. It was terrible. It's like, oh my god, I'm gonna myself crazy.
Yeah. I was thinking about that. I think Mark was one of those people I would call about, negative things too about my bad decisions in relationships.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
great person to talk to. Well, of course, he's a Gemini. So.
Yeah, he goes, yeah, but why has he gotta be so fucking stupid? I mean, he can't help but just say the truth.
Yeah.
He just be like, I get that you like him, but why has he got to be so fucking toxic? Like, what the fuck?
You can do without that part, right? Right. It's like, oh, maybe not. I'm like, okay, well.
Yeah. Now I would play this one for you. Maybe you can think about it for. I'm gonna do this one for Wednesday, and it seems dumb, so maybe, I don't know. It says early relationship trust issues. That's the title of it.
Oh Lord, holy moly!
It's a straight white dude, and so it probably doesn't even apply to gay people. But here we go.
And so I've been seeing this girl for about 6 weeks, and we've hit it off fast, and it's become very feelings oriented very quickly. I got divorced a few years ago, and this is the first time that I have felt something deeper for somebody. She's super attractive, but she also does little things that reveal a good and kind character to me at this early stage and suggest a generous and good soul that I can trust. But I guess I struggle with the trust part. And tonight, after I told her I couldn't hang out, she texted me and said she was going to go meet up with a male friend of hers for a drink. This male friend had reportedly recently broken up, and she felt he needed a shoulder to cry on. I asked her if they had ever dated or fucked before, and she said no. But about 10 minutes later, she texted me back and said she had in fact fucked him for some time more than a year ago. She insisted that wasn't the reason she was going to meet up with him, but I guess I'm not sure. There was also another episode a few weeks back where she was going to go meet up with another male friend who she initially said was not someone she had been with, but then she turned around and said, I'm sorry, but yes, I was with him. I'm just trying to figure out whether I am overreacting in this situation. Post-divorce, I've done a little bit of research into my attachment style, and I do seem to have an anxious attachment style. But I guess I just like your take on the situation. I'm very torn about whether I'm overreacting about her spending time with these dudes, whether I should be fine with it, or whether I have reason to be concerned, and whether I should view this as a red flag.
This is one of those adorable straight people problems, because if you're gay and you're dating someone and he says, oh, I'm going to go, we can't hang out tonight for whatever reason, we've just met, I'm going to go hang out with my friend Mark. You automatically assume that he's hooked up with Mark, because most gay guys, most friends of gay guys are people that they briefly dated or hooked up with once and realized that they were better as friends than as fuck buddies or potential romantic partners. So the default assumption in gay land, when you're this guy you just met and you started to have a bit of a crush on and you've been seeing for a few weeks, is hanging out with friends. Yeah, he's hanging out with a bunch of guys who've railed him or that he's railed. So hearing from you, like, oh, this is adorable that you have to worry about this, that you can't just assume that when your girlfriend says she's seeing a male friend, that she's seeing somebody that she's hooked up with in the past, the way a gay guy would assume that when his new boyfriend is seeing somebody he's friends with, that it's probably somebody he's hooked up with in the past. You don't even need to drill down or address it.
Amen. I agree. That is a straight problem.
But it is kind of cute a little bit, because he's like, say, did you fuck this dude? Did you fuck this? Oh, now she's with someone.
The problem with this is her. Why you know, I have a problem with her going back with the lie. You know what I mean? If she
right. That's a good point.
It's the whole going.
I mean, maybe she just was taken aback by the question and didn't want to answer.
Maybe that bitch is a whorish liar.
Well, yeah, she is a liar.
She is a whorish liar. She is a liar.
And
no, but I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, like I'm saying, how different is that than most people? Like,
no, but if that seems like that's the part that bothers him,
right?
I think she should just be like, yeah, like I bang most of my friends, but now we're just friends.
Right.
I would expect that. I've been with people like that. I'm popular. Okay, what way? Biblical sense. I understand. Me too. No, I'll be like, I understand. Me too. Thank you.
That's the thing. I think, between guys, we know.
Yeah,
there's that understanding. Yeah,
you start to think in a sense like, I fucked a lot of people. Wow.
Yeah. The other
I've
thing is,
been through entire friend circles.
Mm.
Yeah, everybody walking on my DNA like, look. I said that because ain't nobody on Patreon.
you know they can watch it later, right?
I know, I'm just kidding.
It's like, okay. But no,
Sips coffee. Right.
no, I definitely see that. Thinking about some weird shit today. I don't know why I'm thinking about it. It's my ex's birthday. He turned,
Happy birthday.
no, we don't talk, but it's his 50th birthday. Of all things, I actually know what day it is. Well, I don't know why I'm thinking about it. I was just I saw the date and I was just like,
perfectly normal.
yeah.
Are y'all still friends on Facebook?
No.
Well, then it's like I tell people all the time, you would be a fucking serial killer if you didn't still like caring about your ex, and you know, on a human level. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't care what nobody says. It's still fucking amazing when a black man makes it to 50.
Yeah.
Fuck off, right?
Yeah.
We have done the damn thing, and I will be 52 in May. Hallelujah! Right?
Yeah.
So, yes, but on that note, my friend, I have an assessment to design. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, God damn it! I don't. We call somebody for fucking help.
All right. Let me go ahead.
All right, man. Go ahead.
In the